away. JD, good morning, bro.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, friends and traders. Welcome back to TopStep TV. We were looking at that opening range trade in gold to start the day. 51 tick wide opening range on the 1 minute chart. We did not get in the trade. It triggered a long entry. We are not in. Sound off in the chat if you took that 1 minute opening range trade in gold. I suppose we'll take a look at the 3 minute and see what happens from there. But Hogue, 51 ticks wide. Is that a little too much risk to be taken on a one lot on the opening range?
I mean, you know what the risk is, right?
Yeah.
It's a little big. But man, it sure just
took
opened,
off, right?
Yeah, and took off. We do have a lot of big numbers today. We got, we have GDP at 730 and more numbers after that. I don't miss it.
Yeah.
No
FOMO here, right?
Yeah.
I see a couple traders in the chat say they took it.
Hitting the skids here, so that's another positive for long and gold.
Gold on the bull. The rest of these markets running the bear.
What is the tilt telling us right now? We got 77% long in the tilt. Let's talk about that. What happened with the ADP number?
ADP came out at 62. They were looking at 140 around there, and it came out much, much lower than expected as far as that ADP. I'm sorry, 115 was an expectation. Prior 155, so coming out at 62,000.
Yeah.
Prior revised down to 147, so it dropped another 8,000 there. Yeah, that's a pretty low number.
Yeah.
Private payrolls are down.
Not good. Not good. It's really going to be telling on Friday with the non-farm payrolls and the unemployment rate.
Yep.
But that's just not a good sign.
Yeah. The definition, coming straight from the book, ADP's data covers more than 500,000 companies, totaling more than 25 million employees. Report is produced by ADP Research Institute in collaboration with Stanford Digital Economy Lab. Way off on those numbers. Way off on the consensus.
Yes.
More than half.
Coming up here in 5 minutes, we got the core PCE. We've got also GDP. That's going to be the biggest one out of here. GDP price index also. Consumer spending coming up in about 30 minutes. Dallas Fed, 845, Chicago PMI. Bigger numbers, these PCEs Johnny was talking about earlier. These are what the Feds like to watch. That's going to be a 9 o'clock number coming up at 9:30 here. We got our crude oil inventories. 11 o'clock. 12 o'clock, Atlanta Fed. And that's going to be it for the day. But big numbers still ahead. Thanks to you guys.
Packing a lot of action into the early hours this morning. Gold still thick and higher. Bummer we missed that.
Yeah, we're unraveling that overnight inventory right now, going into this number.
We sure are. I'm going to switch over to a 15-minute chart. Open with a gap down. Traded lower all night.
Look where we settled yesterday.
We're recovering that short inventory right now. What is settlement price in gold?
Look at the move in gold from overnight. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Price,
we settled
33.60 settlement price.
Oh my gosh, that's a $60 move overnight.
Yeah.
Gold,
that rally yesterday,
great market right now.
That rally yesterday, late in the day, it was very feeble.
Mm-hmm. We talked about settlement price in gold a little bit yesterday. It can be a little, what's the word? It can throw you off a bit just because official settlement price comes out at disorienting. Yeah. Official settlement price in gold comes out at 12:30 p.m. Central Time, but it continues to trade for another 3.5 hours after that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's it can confuse people if they're not paying attention to it.
back to the high of the opening range here, JD.
Yep. Switch back down to our 1 minute chart.
Positive delta, so it's congruent with direction. No real signs of any large iceberg orders. If there are,
we'll wait until after this
99.5.
7:30 number comes out. If we were looking at a 3 minute opening range, would have triggered a long. 5 minute, no signal yet. So maybe we'll play a 5 minute going into these numbers. We'll see what the knee jerk reaction looks like, and then possibly jump into gold trade. It's still looking good. If it has not yet been invalidated, maybe we can get in cheaper. What's up, Vince?
No, we got like a minute and a half here before it comes out. So,
yep,
we'll see what happens here. I mean, that settlement looks juicy.
Yeah, it does. Nope.
I love a good return to settlement play.
Yeah, the bottom of the gap here is sitting at about just around 3309-ish area.
Yeah.
So still $9 from here.
I know.
It's not a bad trade.
960.
Yep.
One minute.
I get a countdown clock. Throw it up there. T-10. Let's see when we get there.
I'll
get it on your.
You got a time clock up there, Eddie?
Our counter.
A counter?
I use a sundial to make it hard.
20 seconds. All right, high of the 1 minute opening range in gold, 32.9660. You get a dip below there on a knee jerk. Hogue, do you still like? Consensus seems to be we like the long side going into the equity open, right?
I don't know. I thought that rally yesterday was pretty feeble. We added 4,000 in open interest on that rally, and I think that was pretty short time frame. I think there's still some stuck longs up there.
Okay.
Numbers are out.
Here we go.
All right, still looking at negative 0.2%, coming in at -3. That was for the GDP. Employment cost, 0.9%. Core PCE, higher than expected, 3.5 versus 3.1%. U.S. GDP price index, higher than expected. They were looking at a 3.1, coming in at 3.7. And the U.S. PCE price advance, 3.6. And the deflator, 3.7. That's what we got. Coming up next, Chicago PMI 845 Central. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Eddie.
Right.
Thanks, Eddie.
Let's give it a little time to cook here.
GDP.
Initial reaction was a little bit of selling.
Shrinking economy.
Yes.
Stagflation.
PCE numbers. The core number. Inflationary.
We'll get more. We'll get a better look at PCE at 9 o'clock, about an hour and a half from now.
Yeah, this is just the core PCE.
Well, we know that gold loves stagflationary times, right? And inflation.
Yep.
Let's see what we got going on here.
Still a little bit of a bear in gold.
Yeah. We are right at the top of the 1 minute opening range now.
Deeper pullback. Doesn't mean that this can't work.
Some of these.
Yeah, what's that buzzing?
Oh.
It was getting intense. The buzzing.
Getting closer and closer.
Olby says to answer your phone. These mics, they pick up everything.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they're sensitive, right?
All right, we're going to take a look at that opening range trading crude oil at the top of the hour, 8 o'clock a.m. Central Time. Ooh, look at that pop in gold just now.
Yeah.
Let
me give us another minute, but let's see. What's the high here? 5 minutes. 330.240.
Almost thin in gold.
Dan Trader got in. $32.95 in gold. Did I get that low?
Nice.
Not since the number, no.
32.95s.
Yeah, not since the number. Had to be before the number.
Dan Trader was in early. He front ran the opening range.
Yeah, he did. Saw some momentum there or something.
Whatever that pop was in gold, sold right back off. That finger possibly.
No gap close.
Keep our eyes. Nope, not yet.
All right, Eddie, my man. What kind of news we got? What happened overnight?
Overnight news. Let's take a look here. U.S. stock futures edged lower today as investors eyed a busy week of corporate earnings. Yes, we still got those corporate earnings coming out here. U.S. data as well. The Dow contract was mostly unchanged. By S&P dipped 0.2%, Nasdaq down 0.3%, and the Dow pretty much unchanged. The main averages on Wall Street were higher at the end of trading yesterday, following indications progress in the White House tariff negotiations. Trump signed an order yesterday that aimed to help soften the impact on his auto tariff. It's through credit and relief from duties on certain materials. The move came as Trump traveled to Michigan, a traditional focal point of the American car industry, with a set of new steep 25% tariff due to take effect soon. As part of the changes, the president agreed to grant
Coach Jay has a micro gold position on. We'll get right back to that. Jack, thoughts coming into this open? GDP, not so good.
Not so good. I have a little slideshow for later. But first, this is a very good day not to be trading the first 30 minutes because we got two big numbers. One big number, one huge number was Chicago PMI, and then PCE at 9. If we go to when we go to my charts, this is an important area we're kind of testing right now in the ES. I have it on the hourly, and you can see in this area down to 54.80. A lot of previous resistance. If we break through that, it is game on.
Oh boy! All right, let's get right into. Okay, Coach Jay, you're along too. Micro gold from 33.1560. Buying the pullback.
Yeah, just buying the pullback, looking for gold to trade back up towards settlement. I will build into this position. I think I'm buying anything above 33.08, and my stop is below 02s. Like everyone said, we do have numbers coming out as well, so I don't want to get in a huge position that I have to hold through this number. Right now, I'm risking about $300 on this trade, and I'm comfortable risking about 600 total. And in the equities, we've seen rallies, like a 6-day rally in the S&Ps, 6 green days in a row. Coach Paul and I talked about this yesterday, and I think Hogue as well. The open interest and volume on those 6 up days was very low, right? Which is concerning. Now we got numbers, and we see the markets coming back down, back into that April 9th range, 55.20s. And we saw gold do this as well, where it looked bullish. It held above April 9th. And then fell right back into the range, and it's about 50% of it right now. I'm bearish the equities until we get some good news because we haven't really gotten any.
No, we have not. Let's take a look at these markets. Then I'm going to throw it to Hogue. Last trade in the Nasdaq, 19,263. We did bottom out at 19,230. Take a look at the ES, 5,500 even. Last trade there. House account is long. One crude from 59.63. Last trade, 59.82. Hogue, thoughts on the first 3 minutes into this open?
Well, opening ranges have been left at the high in the Nasdaq and the S&Ps to begin with here. Very large opening ranges, almost like 20 points in the S&Ps. That is a big opening range. We are opening with a gap. We are opening below yesterday's range and value. We have new information, which is what these markets have been seeking for the last few sessions. I completely concur with Jay that the rally in the S&Ps has been hollow. It has been losing open interest. It has been low volume. Everybody waiting for new information. This 9 o'clock PCE number is going to be absolutely huge.
Oh boy!
we'll see. You know, if it comes out as expected, it may already be in the market, but I'm not all that friendly to the long side here in the equities, especially if we don't close that gap. Gap close in the S&Ps is up to 55.2775. That is, of course, the session gap, and in the Nasdaq to close the gap, we've got to get up to 19,403.75, showing nothing but rejection of yesterday's range and value so far this morning. Opening ranges remain the high, getting a little bit of buyers coming into the Nasdaq here. We'll see if the opening range high holds. That in the Nasdaq is 19,301 and a quarter.
Real 1 and a quarter. All right, last trade 19,296. Now 300s do trade. You heard Hogan Manny talking about the first half hour. Eddie, we got some big numbers on deck today. What are you seeing over there?
Well, coming up here in about let's see here, we had our 7:30 numbers coming in about 10 minutes. We got our Chicago PMI. We can't forget about that number. That's before our PCEs. In about 25 minutes, coming in the core PCE price index. Also, lots of numbers here at top of the hour, so we got to be ready for this. Also, in about an hour, crude oil inventories. We will be having that, and 11 o'clock here. 12 o'clock. We do have an Atlanta Fed GDP. After that, it is clear sailing. Back to you, Andre.
Oh, boy. A lot on deck today. All right. Still seeing some buying here in gold. Last trade, 33.18. Do you have an upside target for your trade, Coach Jay?
Yeah, settlement is going to be the first target, 33.60. 33.60.
Okay.
Just took out the IB high there, Jay.
Yes, we did.
33.190, 33.1980 approximately.
I had a bid to add at 10.5. If we get that pullback, I'll add one at 10.5 and then another one at 08, and that'll be it. My CY is going to be 3,300.
All righty.
10.5 and 08. All right.
All right, before the numbers really start coming in here, hot and heavy, upper left-hand corner of the screen, hashtag fast markets, hashtag power hour as well. Hit us up at TopStep TV on the X. Let's see some cool Trader Station setups. Trader wins. Love seeing the calendars with all that green on there. Again, hashtag power hour, hashtag fast markets at TopStep TV. Gold putting in new highs right now, Coach Jay, 33.22.90. See if we can go get those 33s, Coach Jay.
It looks like it's going to be a quick move up to your target there, Jay.
Yeah, right. I mean, I might as well cancel the bids that I have down there, because if we get down there now, I don't know if I like them.
Right.
Because it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty if we get back to where those bids are. I could just take the money here. It's almost 200.
Yeah, you got value high 33.2860.
Yep. Same area we were
Right
looking at yesterday.
Control.
On this long, right? This 25 area kind of gave us a lot of consolidation yesterday. We can see this chop over here on the left side of the screen. So, going into a number. Go ahead, Oak.
Yesterday's point of control 33.2220.
20. All right. New lows S&Ps 54.94. New lows Dow 40,162. Nasdaq 10 points off the lows there. Gold still cooking on the upside. New highs 33.25. Last trade there. Crude trying to feel its way out right now. Last trade $59.86 a barrel. Talking about those levels, you may ask, where do I get those levels? Well, pinned to the top of the chat, you got TopStep Daily Levels. Give that link a click. Open up that window, have a little real estate on the screen to see those levels that we'll be referring to all throughout the day. We're still selling off your new lows. If you want to do one better, click on that indicators tab, top of TopStepX. Type in TopStep Daily Levels, and boom, have them slapped right overlaid on top of your charts. Mandy, thoughts on your fast market debut so far? Things are moving fast. You typically don't trade the first half hour. What are you waiting to see? First half hour. Are you just trying to stay out of the noise and chop?
Definitely trying to stay out of the movement. I think, as Jay mentioned earlier, there's really nothing to bring this market up right now until we see with news that might change the sentiment. But I can see us pushing definitely lower as we continue throughout this morning until the news drops. Some numbers drop, but my sentiment's definitely going to be bearish today, and just looking for good entries. Probably if we see a quick little run up after we've settled down after the numbers have posted, and maybe I'm looking for a short. But until then, I mean, we are just kind of free falling right now. So definitely a fun way to snipe your way down if you want to risk before news.
Like that.
Did just get a
Yeah, go
little
ahead,
tape
Jim.
bomb in the Nasdaq. 400 contracts traded in a second to the downside from 22s up to 23s, and just continuing to sell. I did take one of those off in gold. Go ahead, Jack.
Oh,
No,
go ahead.
go
I say
ahead,
we're
Fo.
making a run right now at
You're
the
starting off.
April 25th lows, the 5480 level.
Yep.
Speaking of run, we got some nice run here in gold going north. You're running north hard.
Gold is running to the upside. Seeing some selling out in the crude, but like Jack was saying, we are selling off in the ES, selling off in the Nasdaq, selling off in the Dow. Gold on the move to the upside. And there is more gas in the goose on this one. 19,194 new low print in the Nasdaq. 5484 new low in the ES. 483 in the orders now prints. New lows. We have Chicago PMI in about 6 minutes, Eddie. We'll see how that gets rocking
That is
here.
a
New
check.
lows. Man, oh man, we are selling off. Look out below.
Yeah,
Jack. Yeah, Jack or Hogue.
Yes, sir.
The reason behind Hogue, I'll throw it to you then to Jack. Those that are just jumping in, just getting into the markets behind the sell-off. We had a number about an hour and 10 minutes ago. What did it say for GDP? What were those results?
Okay, so the GDP number was expected to come out 0.2%, showing a slight expansion in the economy. It came out minus 0.3% contraction in the economy. I think that's probably so far the most important letter, or the most important number that we saw this morning. But we also saw the ADP, non-farm employment change. They were looking for 114,000 added jobs, and they only added 62,000. They also revised the previous release down a little bit. So not good for employment, not good for the economy, showing a sign of potential retraction. We get 3 months of that. That's a recession.
Yeah, this is starting to get real, Jack. I just took a look at the 10-year yields.
5 minutes remaining.
Jack, we're beneath 4.2%, if I read it correct.
We're through the 5480 first. Let me take a small victory lap from yesterday. We ran out of time on that short on it, but this is the line that I had. We closed that gap. This is the SPX. So we don't have to worry about premiums. We exactly closed the gap to the close on Liberation Day. Recall Liberation Day? Hit it. Didn't get the news we want. Sold off. Got the GDP number. As far as the 10-year goes, we spiked in yields off the number. We got, what am I looking at right now? Oh, sorry. This is the day chart. I thought that looked a little funky. Let's go to the hour. We spiked. We got down to that 4.15 yield level, spiked up high off the GDP, and we've come back. We're at 4.15 right now, which is a little on the low end of where it's been lately.
Yes, it is. All right, number in 3 minutes. Shout out to the 4,500 people joining us all across the globe right now. Markets are moving, putting in new lows in the equity indices. Where is everyone watching all across the globe? Shout out to San Francisco, California. Who's watching from San Francisco right now? And just let us know where you're watching all across the globe. Welcome aboard. This is Fast Markets. This is Top Step TV. We are still selling off here, Mandy, 54.70. Mandy, for those that are getting to know you, what products do you typically trade?
So NQ is my bread and butter. I just love how that moves. And I mentioned it in chat with slow markets with Jay and Dakota. I've been starting to toy a little bit with MBT, micro Bitcoin. There's a lot of volatility in Bitcoin, and I love that there's a lot of potential for some good moves. So with that, I have been playing with that a little bit. I was just looking at it this morning. It looks like this morning I have a daily downtrend line here at the 96.10, and we definitely hit that and went right down there. We're down another 2,000 down into the 94,350 right now. So interested to see if I can even make a trade on that today if I'm not loving how the equities are moving. But I think with any news, it can move very similar to ES or NQ right now.
100%.
Crude, yeah, crude is selling off now, 59.52. Hogue, how are we managing this crude trade? Are we still in it?
I
You
believe we
guys-
still are. I think
Alright, cool.
our CYA is
Chicago.
down at 59.43 because the opening range still remains the low of the day. But I think these equities pulling back. There may be a little bit of fear in crude oil that there may be a little bit lower demand moving forward if the economy begins to shrink.